As the EV revolution continues to push forward, more electric vehicles are starting to hit the market, giving the consumers more choice when transitioning to a new vehicle. Toyota is expected to unveil the new X-Prologue concept vehicle on March 17th, which could be Toyota's first full battery electric vehicle. Aston Martin is also now promising at least 2 new battery electric vehicles, and Harley Davidson might be getting serious about building electric motorcycles after announcing a new chief electric vehicle officer. These are the news we will be covering next, but first, let's get plugged in. Hello and welcome to EV Source. My name is Harry and I'm your host for today's dose of EVs and technology. Guess what guys, this channel is getting close to its 1-year anniversary. On March 17th last year, I uploaded my first video and I can't believe how quickly a year has gone by. So I'll be doing a 1-year special next week on the 17th. I might do a live stream to interact with you directly, but I haven't decided on that yet. Either way, look forward to a special video on the 17th. Now let's jump right into today's topic. 2020 was a year that will certainly go down in history for several reasons. But it was also the year when Tesla showed that it means business. Tesla was the only automaker delivering more vehicles and making a profit during the lockdowns that were put in place around this time last year. Some new vehicles that were expected to hit the market in 2020 got delayed to 2021. One of them is Rivian. They were expected to get the R1T pickup truck and the R1S SUV in the market in late 2020, but unfortunately due to the effects of the global pandemic, things got pushed further down the road. But hopefully 2021 will be a better year for the economy so we can finally see some of the long-awaited electric vehicles hitting the market. So as the EV revolution continues to push forward, some well-established automakers are still trying to figure things out with electric vehicles. Meanwhile, Tesla continues to increase the gap between itself and other automakers, making it even harder to catch up. But only the years ahead of us will tell how legacy automakers adapt to the new and growing electric vehicle market. All eyes are now on Toyota's secretive concept vehicle known as X-Prologue, which is set to be unveiled next week Wednesday on March 17th. Toyota has only given a small glimpse of the vehicle, which quite honestly doesn't tell us much, other than it might be a battery electric vehicle, due to a closed front with no apparent air vents or a front grille. Toyota is yet to release a fully electric vehicle outside China. We've all become quite familiar with the Prius, which is just a plug-in hybrid, but we haven't seen a fully electric vehicle from Toyota yet. The Japanese automaker seems to be mostly focused on hydrogen fuel cells and plug-in hybrids, despite announcing an acceleration of its electric vehicle plans last year. During an annual meeting, Toyota CEO Akio Toyoda said that it wasn't a good idea to push for massive electrification. According to Mr. Toyoda, quote, "The current business model of the car industry is going to collapse if the government pushes to ban gasoline vehicles." It's worth mentioning that the Japanese government is planning to ban the sale of new gasoline vehicles in 2035. He then argued that electric vehicles are too expensive and pushing for a mass transition to battery electric vehicles will price people out of new cars. While I do agree with electric vehicles being expensive, they are coming down in price so fast that in the next 2 to 3 years, it's expected that electric vehicles will reach price parity with gasoline vehicles and even be cheaper than the gasoline counterparts. And when that happens, we can almost say goodbye to internal combustion engine vehicles. Although it will take a few years before people stop buying them, the transition to electric will happen and is already happening. In order for any automaker to stay afloat, they have to go through this transition. Those who fail to see what's coming are doomed to fail if they don't have the courage to lead the transition to electric vehicles. So for Toyota's sake, I really hope the X-Prologue is a battery electric vehicle, one that will perhaps set a new course for the company's future. And as we wait for the Tesla Cybertrucks to start rolling out from the factory and Rivian and Lucid to bring out their first vehicles later this year, others are now starting to see the direction the automotive industry is headed. A luxury brand, Aston Martin, is fully committed to building 2 battery electric vehicles beginning in 2025. One will be a sports car and one an SUV. And with hybrid vehicles in the pipeline, Aston Martin is determined to keep up with the changing market. Though some might say the company's less than speedy EV transition is coming a little too late, they won't really have a choice after 2030. You see, Aston Martin is based in the UK and both upcoming electric models will be manufactured in the country. The UK government plans to phase out sales of gasoline and diesel vehicles by 2030. That's just 5 years after Aston Martin's first EV is scheduled for a debut.
For England. For England, Alec.
But while we wait for the fully electric vehicles from the luxury automaker, the company is set to release a plug-in hybrid of its first SUV, the DBX, later this year. Additional hybrids are also in the pipeline by 2023. Aston Martin seems to be aware that the future of vehicles is electric, yet the company is still not fully invested in the transition. However, they did almost get one fully electric vehicle into production last year, the Rapide E. This was a project that started in 2015 in which they converted a regular Rapide that had a gasoline engine to an electric powertrain. This was hyped so much that the car was even supposed to debut in a James Bond movie. Unfortunately though, after 5 years of development and hype, Aston Martin cancelled the project and put its efforts into an EV R&D program. It's likely they will integrate the research and development of the fabled Rapide E into the upcoming electric vehicles. But only time will tell what happens to Aston Martin's electrification of its vehicles. One thing is certain though, if they don't get their act together and get serious about electric vehicles, their future won't be so bright. Cars and trucks aren't the only ones transitioning to electric. Motorcycles and bicycles are also becoming electric. Last year, Harley Davidson debuted its first fully electric motorcycle called LiveWire, starting at $30,000. While the price may scare many away, it does still attract a lot of attention, and for a good reason. It's stylish, it looks good, follows a very familiar design, and it even has that large tank-like feature, but this one doesn't store gasoline however. It houses the CCS Level 3 charging port. While the design is inspired by gas bikes, it's not really an eyesore as it blends in with the overall design quite well. But is Harley Davidson even serious about electric bikes? Well, the company just recently announced its first chief electric vehicle officer, so anyone doubting the company's commitment to electric motorcycles should think again. Ryan Morrissey will assume his new position at the beginning of April. He has 2 decades of experience working with disruptive technologies and the development of new business ventures. Both are key points to Harley Davidson's goals of doubling down on its electric bike venture. As Harley Davidson CEO explained, quote, "Ryan has extensive experience with leading OEMs working on building businesses to develop, commercialize, and support electric vehicles. I'm excited to have him join the team to help us lead in electric." As we announced in February as part of the Hardwire, we'll be talking more about our electric strategy later in the year. Harley Davidson's The Hardwire plan is to heavily invest in electric vehicles, including a new division within the company dedicated purely to the development of EVs. But like any electric vehicle its size, the downside is range. With only 146 miles in a city or 95 miles in combined city and highway. The current battery technologies don't allow more range, but perhaps the future energy storage technologies would allow bikes to get the same range as bikes running on gasoline do today. Who knows if range will even be a thing in the future if we somehow far surpass the range we get with today's vehicles. But until then, we will keep reporting on new developments on the energy and technology front. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you did, make sure to smash that like button. And before you go, I have a question for you. Do you think today's legacy automakers will survive the EV revolution? Will they be able to get into the EV market quickly enough with products that are actually comparable to Tesla in terms of price, range, and technology? All of which Tesla is still leading. As always, leave your thoughts down below in the comments. I do read all of them. Thank you for watching till the end. You are amazing. If you would like to help the channel, check out our merch store for shirts, hoodies, and more. And if you own a Tesla, here's a code for 10% off at Abstract Ocean for Tesla accessories. Just use the code EVSource or click the link below to get your 10% discount. Another way to support the channel is by becoming a Patreon producer and gain access to exclusive content such as full interviews, Q&As, and more. But by far the best form of support is to have you watch and enjoy our videos. A shout out to all of our Patreon producers and a special shout out to a power producer, Inku Kang. Thanks for watching. My name is Harry and this is EV Source. Keep charging ahead and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe and take care.